Okay, I've got my bike back. I'm going to take it for a little ride now and do a little bit of testing, and then when I pull over we'll have a bit of a chat. Let's see how it sounds starting up. Sounds nice and strong and smooth. I reckon there is a change in the way it's running since I've got it back, but we'll talk more in a minute. Here in the windy countryside, and I just pulled up from my little test ride and the bike's running beautifully. If you didn't see the video, I had an issue where the engine or the bike threw a couple of error codes on my last ride, which was on the weekend. Hey guys, just thought I'd make this little video. Just riding along, just coming out Dalesford on the way to Trentham, and riding along, and my Chief all of a sudden just lost power and the check engine lights on. And I took it into the motorcycle dealer to Indian Ballarat yesterday, and they went right over it, which I was super impressed with the attention they gave the bike. And I want to say a big thank you to Indian Motorcycle in Ballarat. Jeremy there, the lead tech, he went right over it, checked everything. Now the code was misfiring on cylinder 2 was one code, which is P0302, and the second code was P0363 from memory, and that was a condition persists or condition remains code. So it threw a misfire. It had a misfire on cylinder 2, which is the back cylinder, which is this cylinder right here. And the second code was just saying that the condition remains. So Jeremy went right over it. He pulled the leads off and checked the leads to make sure that they weren't breaking down. Checked in and checked the plugs and put it on the diagnostics, and it just checked everything. And lo and behold, he found something very interesting. In the spark plug, or on top of the spark plug on the rear cylinder, when he pulled the lead off and the cap off, there was a excess build-up of, I think it's like an assembly grease, or it's a grease that they just grease the sides of the top of the plugs with, just to ease on, or make it easier to slip on the, I don't really call it the plug cap, the lead, the lead where it plugs onto the top of the spark plug. And on top of the spark plug was a build-up of this grease, like it was an excessive amount of grease. Now this grease, I believe, is non-conductive, so it may have been the cause of the misfire on the rear cylinder. The front cylinder was fine, there was no issues there, and it was all on this back cylinder is where he found the build-up of grease, and I'll show you a photo of it here. And it was down inside the plug hole as well. So Jeremy cleaned it all up. Now it's not, it's not sloppy workmanship or build or anything like that. It's just one of those things that was just a little bit too much went in the plug lead, and it could be, we're not sure, but it could be the cause of the issue. Now, Jeremy also did, there was a VCM, Vehicle Control Module update, and an update for the ride command display as well. So he did both those updates, which meant that the VCM or ECU, whatever you want to call it, got reset back to factory settings, and which then means that the ECU has to sort of relearn or readjust to my pipes that I've put onto it. But right off the bat, as soon as I let the clutch out and started to accelerate out of the dealership, it just felt more instantaneous. The engine felt smoother and the pickup a lot quicker. And I wasn't sure whether it was just my imagination or whether it was, it was actually different. And so I rode it around for a little bit and rode it home, and I thought I just won't make any assumptions or assessments until I sort of spent a bit of time on it and did a few stop starts. And yeah, for sure, it's definitely cleaner, smoother, and more instantaneous to pick up, which is nice. It's really nice to ride. And that was last night. That was yesterday after I picked up the bike. Now, riding this morning, I've come out to one of my usual riding spots, and out here in the countryside, I've just thought I'll take the same sort of routes I normally take. And it's running beautifully. It's just I can't fault it. I wonder if that gunk in the back of that, on top of that spark plug's been sort of hasn't been enough to cause or throw an error, but on that ride on the weekend, it must just been, I don't know whether it went over some bumps or whatever, and it just caused enough of a gap for the spark, if you like, that threw the error code. So Jeremy said to just ride it around for a few days and a few weeks and see how it goes, and if the code comes back, well then obviously I'll go back in, but I've got a feeling it's not going to come back, especially the way it's riding right now. So if your bike, your Indian's throwing that code P0302, pull the plug lead off and have a look down the plug hole and just see if you've got some gunk down there. I did have one person comment on, and I'm sorry, I forget, I don't remember names, but from the UK who said that theirs through the same fault, and they pulled over and jiggled the spark plug lead, and then it sort of went away. So whoever, I can't remember your name, sorry, but I would recommend that you have a look at your own bike, pull that spark plug lead off, and just make sure you don't have an excess of the assembly grease down there as well. All right, I'm going to continue my little ride and see how we go. I just thought I'd give you an update so you know how I went yesterday, and something else to look for if your bike's throwing a similar sort of code, your Indian. Now, Jeremy did say that it will be logged with Indian, and he said from now on, if someone has a similar sort of code, that's probably something else I'll also check. I'll keep you posted as to how it all goes, but I'm pretty confident. I feel the way it's running that that was the issue, and we're going to be A-OK. But if it's not the case, I'll certainly let you know. Thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, bye for now.